Have we got Jungle with us? Let's.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, unfortunately we can, and I'm very concerned about what you're going to say. Hit us.
Don't worry, I'm not a troll. So, sound check, okay?
Absolutely fine. Let's do carry on.
All right, thank you. Well, first I gotta say I'm an atheist. I'm a sci-fi Star Trek fan, and I make YouTube videos. Some may know that or not. And I have. Are you
going to try and give out a shout out for your channel as well? I think we can let you do it. Someone else has. What's your YouTube channel?
Jungle Hyena. Just look it up. So just.
All right. There you go. There's your shout out.
But that wasn't my intention, because I got a more serious question, and actually reverting back to the beginning of the show about eugenics. The ultimate goals, likes, and wants for humanity, I think, throughout human history, for religion and science, has been eternal life. So you got all those fairy tale books about the fountain of youth, eternal life after death. Just look at religion. Actually, the only thing they want to do is say we live forever. But nowadays we got cryogenics, freezing in the body of the brain, in the hope that one day you can come back and stay alive. But my question was, that popped into my mind, and what decided me to make a call. What if eugenics leads to the discovering of how we age and the ability that we can switch it off? So basically meaning eugenics leading to the eternal life on Earth. And I think I am all in favor of genetic engineering, all that stuff, but I think this may be a problem.
Diddling with genetics won't actually help you at all. Genetics isn't the problem. Aging isn't the problem. Well, it is in some ways. The problem is that what makes people is their brains, right? What you really need is a mechanism to preserve the information within the brain. Right? The problem is what goes on in here tends to be irreversible. Right? That's your real problem. It's not really the genetics or the aging.
That you can still get hit by a bus eventually.
But I'm thinking. Can you still hear me? Right now, I don't see my blue mark around the.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask is because, in my view, being atheist and looking for, I'm almost 40 years old, looking on the Earth, on this planet, is that the biggest problem we have on this Earth is that there are so many people, and you just look you just have to look at the timeline, seeing from how few people we were coming from Africa, and millions, and now billions of people. We just have too many people on this Earth. So I'm not against genetic engineering as such, but if at one time we find the key to eternal life, to say, we may have a big problem on this Earth.
Yeah, because people need to die.
I thought we had found the secret to eternal life, and that's just to believe in God.
Well, I'm an atheist, so I don't agree.
Yeah, well, I understand your point about there being too many people on the planet, and that is another serious concern, especially when the religions want to procreate as many new souls to bring unto the Lord as possible. The biblical way is a big gas-guzzling SUV with a wet bar, and as many children as possible. So when we are taking more out of the oceans than the oceans can put back, and we're stripping out the rainforest so that we can lay out cattle farms for McDonald's, we're not looking to the future at all. And when we look at the fact that in the entirety of human history, we had, until relatively recently, less than 1 billion people in the entire world, and then barely over 100 years ago, we had 2 billion people for the first time, and 3 billion people. I think it was by the 1960s is when we broke 3 billion people. And now we're almost at, now we're almost at 7. And the scale is turning straight up.
Yeah.
25 years from now, where will we be? We are already supporting ourselves through advances of technology that if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be able to sustain the people that we do. We have widespread starvation everywhere.
Yeah,
And is it not always the religious that breed? I mean, the Catholic Church has got a doctrine that you should not use contraception, which obviously, apart from causing enormous amounts of suffering, also leads to large families. Is it the Duggans? Is it the Duggans in America? There's a program about them. They've got 18 children, very, very serious religious believers. Why is it? I mean, okay, there's something in the Bible about go forth and multiply, but it's always the religious fuckers that go around creating overpopulation. And I think it is a very serious issue.
And it's not just go forth and multiply. You got to remember the 9s after that. I mean, it's dominate and subdue the earth. And that's where the agenda appears to be. And that's why belief in end times is such a dire belief, because there has to be something to save us from the consequences that we've created for ourselves. Otherwise, we would be responsible for the mess we're still creating and don't know how to fix.
Well, I am an atheist. I am not per se a humanist. I am also a sergeant in the army, but so I look at some things with a different perspective, and what I see is stuff from the internet. I'm basically like Nephilim free. I take a lot of my knowledge from the internet. But what I mean is, you look at energy consumption graphics from the USA. What they say, if the whole of the world were like the USA, we would need 4 or 5 Earths to maintain this consumption rate we have. So we just can't keep up. So if such an invention as eugenics, the discovering of eternal life, would become true, well, I think the first thing which would happen, that the rich people on this planet would benefit from it, and you will get oddities and the disimbalance, something like that. And just doesn't seem right to me. But there's nothing wrong with genetics in my mind. Of course, if you find your child is sick and you can repair it with genetics, that would be great. But there are so many people on this planet, too many actually already to support it. So.
Yeah, well, I understand your point, and there's definitely something in the United States going on about a reverse thinking in that order. When, for example, we had our first gas crunches, I mean, people were denying that it was even possible to run out of oil, even though they have to admit that within the confines of the earth there can only be so much. It can't be an unlimited amount, which means that theoretically you could eventually run out of it. When we start getting to the point where oil prices are going to rise and where supplies are going to be depleted and where this becomes obvious even to the densest individual observing, they impound all the electric cars, and they came back, they brought back the Camaro Z28, and they brought back the Dodge Charger and Challenger and Chevelle. They've just re-released all these muscle cars, the Ford GT40, beautiful thing, but we're talking about 500 horsepower engines when gas is $4 a gallon. What the hell are these people thinking?
I agree, yeah.
I have a motorcycle that has a bigger engine than most European cars. And
yeah, I agree, because if I could drive an electric car, I would buy it immediately, but I only make 30K a year in euros, not dollars, in euros. I think the euro is stronger than the dollar today, it doesn't matter. But if I could afford such a car would be, 50, 60K? I can't buy an electric car at this moment. Of course, all those technologies just at the beginning of the technology, and it will go better, we hope. But
and I had to wonder.
But Jungle, what you have to remember is that none of this is of any consequence, because on the 21st of May the world's going to come to an end anyway. So there's nothing to worry about. And that's.
I think I made a video about that somewhere on one channel. So.
Yeah, well, I'm just giving a plug for the next show, which is going to be celebrating the end of the world, because our next show will be broadcast 1 week before the world's going to end. So, that'll be the last show we ever do. But there we are. General, was there anything else? Because I've got a couple of people.
No, that was my point. So thank you for.